Give me a second.
This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, my name is Andrea, and I am one of the leads at NPR, which stands for No Purchase Required Virtual Solutions. We are a virtual call center around the globe in the United States, Canada, and in the UK. I want to tell you a little bit about me and about the company so you have an idea even before we start talking about TurboTax, which is the job that we are hiring for right now. We're going to go into great detail about that job. And so by the time this video and conference is finished, you will know everything you need to know about the position, what is required for the position, and to make sure that the position is for you. But first, I want you to know a little bit about me and why I'm here at NPR and why I do what I do. So I'm going to show you a Facebook post. And yeah, I'm a real person, so I've got a real Facebook page. And that's my Facebook page. And this, if you look, is actually something that was written in 2013. And this is what I wrote. Now, keep in mind, that's 7 years ago. And if you look at the date, and I actually didn't, I found, it pulls up memories. So yesterday, this was one of the memories that pulled up, and it was just so timely and so interesting and heartfelt, back then that I was like, you know what, I need to share this, with this conference class because it actually even hit me. So what I wrote in 2013 was, "Good morning, Facebook. Apparently, I'm abnormal. What do I mean? Well, normal is me getting up to work 8 hours, which with travel time and a forced lunch hour is really 12 hours to make less than I used to pay my employees. I drive in a car that I'm still paying for and a house I no longer really see. And when I do see it, I'm usually disgusted because I can't take care of it and clean it because I'm never in it to do what I need to do. Then I have to pay a third of my weekly check, which is cheap if you actually knew what I was paying out, to make sure my toddler is safe and my son gets a ride home after practice while I'm gone. Why? Because I barely see my kids, for whom I'm working so hard for, to the point that the youngest are asleep when I get home. Oh, and did I mention that by the time I pay for childcare, the car, the gas to get to work, and the insurance, my check is gone? Who can survive like this? Okay, I'm thinking normal, quote unquote, is overrated. I'm thinking I need to get more than a job. I need to go back to being a leader. I'm thinking I'm tired of hiding in plain sight, and it's time for me to step up and be the woman I was called to be. I'm thinking, Facebook, that I'm going to be networking with you very soon. Business leaders expect a private message with my qualifications. I'm ready. A dear friend told me yesterday, "We'll all know when you're tired because we'll hear your voice." He told me, paraphrase, "You're a spokesperson, a leader, and when you speak, people want to hear what you have to say." So I'm declaring that I'm indeed not normal. I truly believe when you work, you should see the effort in your life, your quality of life, and your bank account. I embrace not being normal. I'm finally ready to be what I've always been told I am, what many of you see inside of me: extraordinary. Hashtag normal is overrated. So, this is what I wrote back in 2013. And 7 years to the day, here I am being a leader and talking to you. Now, the reason why I do what I do is because of the beautiful people in my family. So, one of that little baby that I was talking about on that that Facebook picture. Let me show you what she looks like now. So this is Regina now. She's 8 years old and she is a handful. Oh my God. I am a mother of five. My older children are grown and my youngest two are 16 and 8 years old. So part of the reason why I work so hard is for her. One of the other pictures I wanted to show you was my fiance. Now, my fiance has dystonia, which is a disabling disease that causes uncontrollable muscle spasms. So that means he can't work that much. So, to be able to take care of your family, and I also take care of my aging mother who just turned 77. So I have a household full of people that need a lot of love, a lot of hugs and kisses. I homeschool my children, and, I also want to take care of my home and be able to pay for it. So, but the thing is that when you got that much going on, it's kind of difficult to go out and work every day like what I was doing 7 years ago. Well, back in 2009, NPR got started. And of course, like many business owners, after a while, I just, couldn't do it anymore and I got tired. So I let it go and I decided because of my skills and my degree that I would work a regular job. I made a lot of money and it was great. But I wasn't seeing my family. I wasn't able to really be with the people that I love. And, when you just get up and live just to work, you're doing something wrong. And I knew there had to be a better way. So I was able to get my virtual call center back up and running. And, it never really stopped because I always had it. But, I decided to really do something about it. But the first thing I wanted to do was to work myself. So my first employee was me and it's been great. I make good money. I make decent money where I can stay home and I have a virtual office, which is where I'm actually speaking to you from now, and I'm able to do my job, work full time and still be able to cook dinner, take care of my children, take care of my family's needs, make sure people get to medical appointments because I'm in control of my schedule. So even though I work 40 hours, I can plan those 40 hours anytime that it works for me. So if I have to work at, let's say, 6 o'clock in the morning until 9, because that's when my daughter starts school and I want to be there since I homeschool her to make sure everything goes well, I can do that. And then when she finishes doing her homework and things like that, I might start servicing maybe around 3 o'clock and I might service for a few hours. And then if I don't cook dinner, like, because Kevin, even though he does, he's disabled, he is able to cook and things like that. So if he cooks, then maybe I'll work until dinner. So, 1 to 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock or whatever. And then if I need to work some extra hours, I can after everything is settled down and everybody's gone to bed. Or maybe I'll just double up the hours tomorrow. Either way, it's up to me. And it's a wonderful opportunity because you get to work from home. And the reason why I revamped this company, and you guys are the first batch of new employees that are coming aboard. Currently, I have about 25 agents, and you all, but they've been around for a while, and so now it's time to hire more people. Now, the cool part about this is that we do certification classes. So the certification classes, these are actually run by the companies that are hiring us. So if you're working for Disney, Disney is the one that's going to corporately train you. If it's Airbnb, Airbnb is going to train you. And in this case, it's TurboTax. So a TurboTax instructor is going to train you from home. And it'll be a very similar environment to what you're in right now watching me. The only difference is that there might be, excuse me, some more options on the side of your screen where you can chat. And I think you guys are actually able to do that now, where you can chat and you can send messages, you can raise your hand, answer questions. It's literally just like being in school. You are in school because you're learning how to do your job. And the cool part about these certification classes is that you are actually going to have a job when you finish. And many of the certification classes pay during the certification period, which can be anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks. So that's awesome too, because if you know anything about, trying to go to cosmetology school, get a trade, or anything like that, people do not pay you while you're in class. Matter of fact, you have to pay for the class. So they want you to just sit there and learn, and then you might be able to get a job afterwards. Well, the cool part about these certification classes is that if you pass the class, you're guaranteed to start working immediately. And the most awesome part about this TurboTax class, dun, 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 is you don't have to pay for it, which is totally awesome. And I'm going to be really honest with you, it is not always like that. that. But this particular class starts on February 3rd. So they want to make sure that we get enough agents into the class. And so part of our motivation to you to make sure that you all are in this class dedicated and ready is that the cost is going to be covered by us. So there is no out of pocket expense for the class. Yay! And that's an awesome thing. Now, on the downside, this class does not pay while you're in class. Womp, 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 womp. But that's okay because at the end of the day, you can see the class is only 3 weeks long. And bottom line is, as soon as it's over, you guys are right on the phone. And right now, from what I understand, between now and April, it is unlimited hours. I know last year when I worked this campaign myself personally, it was more hours than I could do for real. Like I actually worked at one point so many hours in one week that I literally, like, I took a day off and I slept like 12 hours because I had lost my mind because the pay was really good. And, they put like you could work up to like 99 hours a week, which is physically impossible, but I was going to try. So, but once I hit about 60 hours, I couldn't do it anymore. I was like, oh my God. So I just had to finally rest, which kind of backfired because I was so tired that the following week I only worked like 30 hours instead of what I had before. So, it was silly. That was very silly of me. But at the end of the day, it's a good job. It's easy. And, I was able to make a tremendous amount of money, with this particular position. So taking a look, if you are going to do this course, the course, these times that you see here between either a 9 o'clock start, 10 o'clock start, 1:30 start, 4 o'clock start, or 6 p.m. start, you see that the class is a 4-hour class. Now that class will be Monday through Friday. So if this job works out for you, you have to be able to commit to the class because you must have perfect attendance or as close to it as humanly possible in order for you to start working the actual job. So when you actually are working the job, you can pick your own hours, but during the training, you cannot. The training is a set time with a real instructor, and you must be there in class because they're going to be going over the systems. They're going to be going over everything to ensure that you are able to accurately and professionally represent TurboTax and so forth and so on, and know how to work the apps and computer systems that go along with it. It's not hard, but you have to, of course, learn because it's new. So if you're going to be in a class that say starts at 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., then that means from February 3rd, which you can see right here, until February 21st, those 3 weeks, you have to be able to be in the class from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday without fail. This means if you have a doctor's appointments or whatever, you're going to need to change that to another time. Now, as you see, you have different choices of classes that you want. Now, this is first come, first serve, and I'll be very honest with you, I'm probably not the only company that is filling these classes. So we want to make sure that our agents get in there as quickly as possible so you can choose which class you want. So once we have you registered and et cetera, after you finish the process of doing your assessments and things for us to make sure that you have the basic skills to be able to do this job successfully, you'll be able to pick which class you want out of the ones that are available. As of today, all the classes are still available. So there are slots in all of them because they're training quite a few people for the influx during the tax season. So taking a look at that, let's look at some more information. So the intervals that are available, as you see, are from Sunday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to midnight. So that's pretty much all day. And you can see that this particular job is going to run from about now, because they already have agents, like I said, on the phone, but from now all the way until the end of April. Now, don't worry. I know you're like, oh my God, but that's not, so it's going to end. Yes, this particular campaign will end. But the cool part about TurboTax, which I love about them, is that they always will make sure that they pay for your next certification class so that way you have a full-time job. Like, for example, last year, TurboTax paid for all of the agents that were doing a great job to be able to be certified as Comcast customer service agents. And many of those people are still at Comcast right now. I personally am not, because I decided to do a different campaign with Airbnb. I love them. Oh my God. So that's who I'm with. So right now, I personally service a Giro, which is a roadside assistance company, and Airbnb. That's what I do because those two companies just work great for me. I love them and I love the jobs. Comcast is awesome too, but Airbnb was just so cool and it was so different and I wanted to try it and I'm really glad that I did. So TurboTax is great because after this job finishes, you will have another one to jump right into. And it's so awesome because you can even continue. Usually they have it where it kind of overlaps a little bit. So that means that you can schedule a class around the times that you're working on TurboTax to make sure that there's no loss of income whatsoever. Very, very cool. So you can see that from January 1st to April 15th, pretty much you can pick your hours all throughout the week. And from April 16th to the 30th, they're gonna really need a lot of people between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. And where they have here, they're like the mass amount of the intervals that they really truly want people to sign up for is between 11 a.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. Now, again, if you notice, there are intervals available all around the clock. But what they're saying here for most of the intervals available means that this is where we really are hiring you for. So even though we've got intervals all over the place, the mass amount of the intervals that we have are going to be around this time. So it's first come, first serve, but just know we've got an abundance between 11 a.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday, but we really need you all around the clock every single day. Now, at this particular campaign, there are special requirements. Now, an interval is 30 minutes. So that means that two intervals equal an hour. I'm going to say that again. One interval is a 30-minute period. And when you're scheduling yourself, you can literally schedule yourself in 30-minute increments. So if you only have a free hour, you can work those two intervals and then jump off the phone and do what you have to do for the rest of the day or until you're able to service again. So when they say that 8 intervals are required, on Saturday or Sunday, or a combination of both, which again also confirms what I said that even though they have a lot of these, they're telling you that they're going to have Saturday and Sunday because they want you to work at least 8 hours on Saturday, Sunday, or a combination of the two. That means somewhere between Saturday and Sunday, we need you to put in 8 intervals, which is 4 hours. So somewhere in your weekend, 4 hours need to be spent working TurboTax. And on Monday, they want you to work 6 intervals, which is how much? That's right, 3 hours on Monday. So with even though you can pick whatever and whenever, they do have some requirements because this is when they need people the most. So they want to make sure that there are people that are working at least 4 hours on the weekend and at least 3 hours on Monday. And then all the other times, you just keep those little parameters. You can work any hours, but they just want to make sure you in that day, that's how many hours that you do commit to. And of course, they show on peak weeks. Okay. These are times they're like, look, we need you to work at least 20 hours. Now I know you're like, well, of course I'm going to work 20 hours. Shoot, I'm going to work 40 or more. That I hear you. And that's exactly what we're hoping that you're going to do. But they have these minimum requirements because, sometimes people say they want to work. And then when they realize the flexibility of it, they're like, yeah. And so some people, will wind up not working as many hours and not being as committed to the job as they should be. Now, not, most people don't do that, but there are people out there. So they have to make sure that they say, okay, look, at minimum, you got to do this. So they want you to work at least basically 20 hours during this campaign every week. But like I said, you can work pretty much unlimited hours. So the minimum, not maximum, the minimum is 20 hours, which is 40 intervals. Because remember, each interval is 30 minutes. And so they've got these little requirements here, like on this particular day, which is, I think, the day before, the final deadline for turning in your taxes. They want you to work 4 hours On the actual tax day, they want you to work 5 hours, and the day after, they would like you to work 3 hours. So, a couple of different specifics in there, but most of you are looking for full-time work, so this is not a problem anyway, because you're probably trying to work at least 8 hours every day anyway. So, just so you know, those are what the requirements are there. So the question then becomes, like, for those of you all that don't know what TurboTax is one of the many products that's provided by Intuit Incorporated. Intuit is a company that does a lot. They are an enterprise software company that develops financial and tax preparation software and related services for small businesses, accountants, and individuals. So the TurboTax program, for those of you all who have never used it, is a tax preparation software package, and it's actually one of the most popular ones in North America. So the software is designed to guide users through doing their taxes in a step-by-step process. What you are going to be doing is you're going to be helping them basically get through the website. Like, for real, that's all. You are not going to be giving them tax advice. Matter of fact, they tell you're not allowed to give them tax advice. You're not going to be deciding things for them. And if they need a tax specialist, you're going to transfer that call to an actual tax preparer, or someone that is able to actually handle that division, because TurboTax does have people like that. But your job is just to help them get through the software. That is it. So literally, if you go to turbotax.com and look around, that is your playground. That is what you're going to be helping them understand, is turbotax.com. And for those that actually have the software through a CD or download on their computer, you're going to help them with that. And of course, they're going to give you all the resources to be able to help them get through the system. Now, in terms of equipment, this is probably one of the most important areas, not just for a TurboTax, but in general, because we're working from home, most of us. Now, if you all are not able to work from home because you do not have all of this, lucky for you, we have an office as well in Douglasville, Georgia. Now, if you are nowhere near Douglasville, Georgia, I'm sorry, but that's where we are. So, but what we can do is that in some cases we can also help you to be able to find an office location that you're able to work out of and things like that. So don't ever get discouraged, okay? And if you don't have internet, or if you're like, oh, I can't afford internet, guess what? We even know programs that can help you with getting a free or very inexpensive computer, and help you to get internet as low as sometimes $12 a month. Comcast and AT&T both have programs like that for people that meet certain guidelines. For example, if they're already qualified for EBT or Medicaid, they usually will qualify for, or free lunch for their kids at school. You most likely will be able to qualify to have a low cost for internet through AT&T or Comcast. Definitely in the state of Georgia. In other states, we'll have to check for you, but they usually have it pretty much nationwide. Now, for those of you all that already have internet, like, wait a minute, what? You mean something I could have got it for $12? All right, there's a caveat for that. So if you already have AT&T and T and you want more information about getting the low service, you cannot get it with AT&T because you already have them. They already know you can pay your bill. So you would have to go to Comcast and get qualified there, and vice versa. And whether you guys, sign up with us or not, feel free to ask me and just send a chat message and say, Andrea, can you please give us more information about that? This job isn't going to work out for me, but I really want to find out about that low cost internet. I have no problem in doing that, because this is all about helping people anyway. So I want to make sure that you all have the same freedoms that I do in my family, to be able to take care of my family and spend time with them and be here for them and get things done that I want to do. So this is all about paying it forward. This is all about being a blessing, and I don't want to go too deep, but at the end of the day, I firmly believe that I'm being blessed so I can bless you. Period. If it's like, so it's not for me anyway. Blessings are so you can give it to other people, because if he did it for me, he'll do it for you. Now, I'm not going to preach. I'm just saying that's how I feel. And that's how we do things around here. We try to really help each other. So let's talk about the things that you will need for this job. Well, of course, you're going to need a computer. right? And you're going to need a noise canceling headset. So let me show you what a noise canceling headset looks like. You got to love the internet, right? It's like there's everything on here. And if you hear a kid in the background, you already know who that is. That's my little Regina Bina, probably running around, outside. It is a Saturday, so she's doing her thing. And that is not what I need. I don't like that. Okay, so we need Plantronics USB headset. We're going to put that in there because I want to show you guys a picture of what it looks like. Okay, let's try that. Here are my results. Ah, okay, cool. All right, so this is pretty much what the headsets look like. This is I think this is the actual one that I have on right now that I'm doing the class with. And you can kind of hear the quality too, so it worked pretty well. I'm sorry. I guess it's because I'm sharing my screen. It is moving so slow. Oh my goodness. But you can see that headset. You see how it looks? Basic headset and USB. If you take a look at the picture, let's see if we can get a closer picture. So I want you guys to really see that. Okay, so you see this little thing on the end, this thing here? That's a USB. Now I know some of you are like, why is she doing that? You'd be surprised. Like some people don't know. So that's a USB, this connection right here. And so, and this is the actual headset that I have, and it works really, really well. And so this has to be able to plug into your computer with a USB. And back in the day, it used to be like an aux cord, but now USB is just better because it makes the sound quality just better. So if you have an aux cord one, you know, upgrade. It's time to upgrade. You see what they cost? They're like $20, so upgrade. And then you can probably get this even cheaper on eBay. So when they're talking about a noise cancellation headset, that's what they mean. OS hardware, network, that means operating software. They want to make sure that you've got a good operating system, i5 or equivalent, i7 recommended. I want to say that that's the Intel thing. It's in your computer. Like if you literally go to the about area of your computer, it should pull up right away so you can see it. Let me see if I can pull that up on mine so you guys know what I'm talking about. Let's see, about your PC. Okay, I think this is it. Let me take a look. Okay, so if I pull up on my computer, it'll show me all of my specifications here. And so you can see that I have an Intel processor, i3-7, blah, 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 and all this stuff like that. And I can tell you right now that my computer passes. So, that Intel Core i3-7, whatever, this processor is fine. I've got 8 GB of RAM and so forth. So basically, if you've got a modern computer, you're good. Now, here it says Windows 8.1 and Windows 10 is recommended and preferred. I got news for you. Like Windows 8.1 is not going to work anymore. It's not so much that it won't work for the job, but for one of the platforms that we use, as of January 2020, it no longer works with 8.1 from what I understand. So you probably can work with 8.1, but it is definitely, I honestly don't even know if there are certain platforms you can get on with 8.1 anymore. So you definitely want to have Windows 10 or better. Now, if you have a situation where you need to upgrade, but you can't afford it or whatever the case may be, give me a call. Let's talk about it and see if there's something that I can do to help you with your upgrade. So we'll talk about that once you've been certified for the class. Current OS patches. Basically, what they're saying is, like your computer updates, they want to make sure that you definitely have downloaded all those updates. Anti-mouse software, Windows Defender will probably do it. That's in most PCs anyway. I also have another one on mine called like anti-spyware. That's a free software that you can download. And so I have both of those on mine. The firewall will probably already be built into your system. Global Protect, if they actually will give that to you, so you don't have to already have that. Now, what they're talking about here, for the home experts, right? Okay, so this is the one that we're going to do because we're not going to be in the TurboTax office. You're going to be either in our office or at home. So you want to be able to have 5 megabits download, 3 megabits upload for your bandwidth. And you also want to make sure that your latency is not too much. And that's pretty normal. Most internet providers make sure that you have at least 250 milliseconds maximum of latency. So you're probably good there. Now, I can't physically show you on my computer, but I want to show you this thing because this is important. Um, Ethernet connection. So one of the things that's required with the internet is an Ethernet connection. Now, this is what an Ethernet connection looks like. I'm trying, this picture is pretty good. So I'm going to try and show you all that. Let me see if I can open image in a new tab. Let's see if we can, okay. Oh Lord, that's small. Oh, I don't know if you guys can see that too good. Let me see if I can, is there a way to blow it up? Oh no, it's not blowing up. All right, I guess it was bigger on here, looks like. Okay, well, bottom line is an Ethernet cord. You can see this one. This is an Ethernet cord right here. And you guys see that? You see that blue Ethernet cord? Let me see if there's a way I can like give you guys a thing so you can see. I'm trying. You guys can't see my mouse. Hold on for a minute. Um, let's try that arrow. Can you see that? You don't see the arrow? You see the arrow? It's not working. Oh no. Oh yes, it is. There it is. You see the arrow. Woohoo! Okay, so you can see that this particular cord right here, that's an Ethernet cord. Kind of looks like a phone cord. And it's going to plug into the back of your modem, and then it'll also plug into the back of your computer or your laptop if you have a laptop. So you don't have to have a desktop. You can have a laptop or a desktop. Okay? For the internet, you need to be able to connect that way. Now, I have seen some people get away with doing Wi-Fi, but to be honest with you, it doesn't work very well and, or at all. So you definitely want to have an Ethernet connection. So if you're, for example, in an apartment and they only give you Wi-Fi, you would probably want to talk to them about seeing if they can put an Ethernet connection in your apartment. If you have Wi-Fi through one of your companies, again, you'll need to call them and ask them to provide you with Ethernet capability. Most of them, well, you already have it. It's just a matter of buying that cord and then just plugging it into the back and into the back of your laptop or desktop. Okay. And if you have any questions about that, by all means, feel free to ask me. Okay. So now that I've got this arrow thing, I don't know how to get it off. All right, there we go. All right. So that's what you need for the hardware. So what are you to expect? You're going to be receiving inbound calls and dig this, video customers. Yes, you have to be seen. Now let me tell you something. Last year, I'm not going to sit here and tell a lie. I actually sometimes I had that what do you call it? Post it and I had it over my camera because at one point they didn't give me the background thing. They give you this background thing that you can put on the wall behind you, says TurboTax, and they sent mine late. So I didn't have what I needed. So I made sure I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, but my video isn't working right now. But they were still able to chat with me. And most people, they were cool. They didn't mind. So if you have a situation like that, no worries. So don't really freak out because of the fact that they do want you to be able to see the people if necessary. And it is pretty cool. These people are calling from their app sometime, and then you just pop up with your little white, polo shirt on and say, hi, this is Andrea from TurboTax, and, and then helping them. And it's really cool. So, most of it is phone calls, to be honest with you, but every once in a while you will have to do a video call. It's pretty neat. And so you'll just really be handling tech support, customer service type questions. Now it says research, analyze, and determine an appropriate action. So in other words, hear what they got going on, and then help them figure it out. Why haven't I got my income tax refund yet? Oh, it's because you didn't put in your information, so they don't know where to send it. So it's sitting there. So go back and enter your routing and account number. Oh my goodness, I don't know why this software isn't working. Well, I'm looking and it shows that you purchased a CD for a Mac, but you have a PC. So things like that, seriously, like those are the type of calls that you're going to get. So they say they want you to be an ambassador for the Intuit brand. So they want you to have a caring and empathetic approach to the customers. So of course you're not going to be like, you dumb, you ordered the wrong software. You would never say that. You would just say, oh my goodness. Well, I'm so sorry, Mr. Jones, but it looks like here I see that you ordered a Mac software. But I remember you telling me earlier that you have a PC. Is that correct? Do you have a PC or do you have a Mac computer? And he's like, well, you know what? I have a Mac, but I'm really, I need the software from my PC. Oh, okay. So I see. Well, that's not a problem, sir. I'd be more than happy to take care of that for you. Let me go ahead and send you the download since you already paid for the software. There's no need for you to have to worry about paying for anything again. I'm just going to go ahead and send you the correct download to your Intuit account that you have online. Do you already have your Intuit account? Oh, yes, ma'am, I do. All right, let me go ahead and log in and verify this information. That's the kind of call you're going to have. So it's a really simple program. It's very cool, very awesome. Phase one is all about learning how to troubleshoot. Phase two, you're basically just going to get 4 hours of instructor led information, and you will have some self paced modules. You will have homework that you will have to accomplish before the next day's class. The certification requirements, 100% completion of all self-paced work. This is a job. This is not like the eighth grade, okay? You can't fudge your homework. You have to do it and because you are training to do your job correctly. You have to have a 90% or higher on your commitment adherence quiz. Now, don't freak out. A commitment adherence quiz means that they're just going to basically tell you what the requirements are for you to be committed to your job. Like, how do you make sure that you have good attendance? What do you have to do if you pick a interval and then you realize you can't work it? So they want to make sure you understand what to do, and you have to get 90% on that. You also have to get a 90% or better on the final assessments. And guess what? The cool part is that all these tests you do get to take over if you don't pass. So it's pretty awesome. All learners are expected to complete self-awareness and have an 85% or higher on assessments before the last day of class. So yes, if something happens that goes wrong, the teacher will help you. Your fellow students will help you. You're going to make bonds and new friends. It is an awesome opportunity. So this opportunity is great. And so at the end of the day, the next question you probably want to know is, what is the pay? Well, if you have absolutely no experience with a virtual call center or a call center of any kind, then you will start at $11 an hour. If you do have experience, we will take a look at that and you may be able to get as much as 12 to 12.50. So please make sure you let us know about your experience. Customer service experience on the phone is very important, but we will teach you if you don't know. So that's why for those with no experience whatsoever, they will still make $11 an hour minimum. And again, this is hourly wage. You do receive your income through direct deposit to your account. And if you don't have direct deposit or a bank account, no worries. We have other methods, including like a card, a credit card that we'll send to you, and then we'll just load the card. So no worries. You will always get paid properly, and the pay is twice a month. Your first check is it's like the 1st to the 15th, and then the next one is like from the 16th to the 31st type thing. So you always pay twice a month. So it's by semi-monthly pay. I always get that mixed up, semi-monthly and bi-monthly. All right, so that's pretty much the job position in a nutshell. I hope that this actually explained quite a bit about what it is that we do and what we're doing. And so what I want to just leave you with is that working from home is very awesome. It's a very awesome thing. But you have to make sure that you're ready to work from home. And what I mean by that is that you have to have a quiet environment. I was joking around about my little Regina Bina running around, but if you notice, you don't hear her. And that's because I'm in a separate room in a certain portion of the house where it's away from any type of noise. Now, if you're in an apartment or if you're in a smaller house, you may not be able to do that. But you definitely can tell your children, listen, be quiet, mommy or daddy is on the phone right now. Or you can have, when I lived in a smaller home, I worked out of my bedroom, and I let the kids knew, like, look, mom's on the phone. I better not hear you running around, because they knew I had to get paid. So I need to do my job. Because if they hear somebody screaming in the background or a dog barking, you can get in trouble. So you don't want to have that happen. So if you have pets, make sure that you put them somewhere where if they bark or whatever, it's not going to disturb you. Tell your children to be quiet, or to make sure that they come into the room really quiet and shh, until you're able to put your phone on mute in between calls and see what they need, and it is it's different. Working from home is awesome, but you do have to make sure it is a quiet and professional environment. Okay. So with that being said, if you guys have any questions, I will stay behind in order to answer them after the recording is completed. You can also send any text messages that you would like. Of course, the information is going to be in your email and etc. Wherever you were seeing this video, because we are going to post this video, feel free to leave any comments or questions below, or send us a private message, and we will make sure that we get back to you. It has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the time. We hope that you all will come and join us at NPR Virtual Solutions. Come on, let's make this money together. Let's change the world together. Let's free ourselves of the bonds of having to work in an office together and still be able to take care of our families with a full-time job. Yes, that's what it's all about. Look forward to hearing from you. Look forward to speaking with you, and have a wonderful rest of your day.